In this episode of Motive Garage, we upgrade the Aero on JET200 and update the look ready for the 2023 Yokohama World Time Attack Challenge. Now, if you watched our documentary following JET200 last year at the 2022 World Time Attack Challenge, you would have seen that we had some issues with our Aero. The big problem was the front splitter broke a couple of times due to the extra power and speed that we had, and it got to the point where all of the patch job and all the repairs just wasn't going to cut it anymore, and we basically needed to do a whole new front splitter, and while we're at it, we realistically needed a new front bumper as well. Now, to get that work done, where did we go? To the man that's been with this car since the very beginning, Chris Spicer from CS Engineering. Carbon fibre.
Carbon fibre.
Chromoly.
Carbon fibre. Chromoly. Carbon fibre. Hi, I'm Chris from CS Engineering and I'm JET200's fabricator. I think it was about 2009 we started tinkering with it. We put a half roll cage in it. Andrew and I, it's when Andrew used to do stuff with me, we actually wire-wheeled all the seams in the car and stitch welded it. And yeah, and then it was off the paint. In 2012, the car was going a little faster than what it should. It was doing really well, but it only had a half cage. It had some outdated safety equipment, and then we're like, look, let's put a front part of the cage in, and then to do that, we couldn't really add the front bars to the roll cage, so we ended up cutting the roll cage out, and then we ended up redoing the roll cage, and then we're like, let's do a bulge for a side pipe. Let's mount this, let's move this, let's do some side skirts, and then it kind of blew out. Andrew Brilliant had some unfortunate incident with his car, and then he was like, can we repair some work on his car? And he was staying with Andrew. So he was at the shop non-stop, and then he's like, hey, let's put some Aero on it, we can do this, and then it turned into like 5 days of just riveting and welding aluminium. When we did all the Aero on it too, we lost a fair bit of kilometre an hour down the straight. The car was actually slower with the Aero, but faster through, like a tenth faster every corner, and then like 4/10 or something slower down the track, and it was like 15 kilometres an hour slower. So then once the engine package started to happen a little bit, and it was making a little bit more, like I think that was why we endeavoured to do last year. And last year was a lot because everybody was busy, everybody involved the car had heaps on. So it was kind of like a little bit of last minute, repair some stuff, get it there. We did one track day where we broke a few little things, and then we had to repair that. And then, yeah, when we got to World Time Attack, we had really no test time because we just repaired what we broke the prior week. And then, yeah, Bozo jumped in it, and then, yeah, we tried to do what we tried to do, and then we had a couple of little incidents, which is racing, it is what it is. In all honesty, the car has sponsors, but it's not a sponsored pro car. So it's only sponsored, whatever we can make do with what we are sponsored, we are still privateer team. So it's our investment into the car that makes the car happen. We don't have an unlimited, no one involved with the car has an unlimited budget. The car is not unlimited budget. It just is not that. You know, we talked a few months ago and we said, we're not gonna, if we have to, we'll just repair it, but like the Aero, because it was so damaged and thrashed from the year before and throughout what we've done with it. And it was at the point where like we were doing dollars and working out, hey, are we gonna be able to afford to do a splitter, a front bar? And I'm not gonna go into like how much it is, but the material and everything that we sat down and said, oh look, I think I can make it for this and this is what's plausible, was maybe like 1/10 of the price of what we could have, what we would have paid for a carbon splitter and a carbon front bar, which would be nice to be on the car and would perform probably better than this, but this is what we have the means to do. We did leave it a little bit late, and people were saying that they couldn't even make a splitter in time too. So that was one of the main, one of the factors too to why we actually built one ourselves. But from the last one as well, a little bit of experience held now, like it's got a complete aluminium front edge, and we've skinned both sides of the frame so we can remove the skin and replace the skin pretty cheaply as well, so we don't have the damage on the splitter like we have the previous times as well. Though there was a bit of thought gone into this one as well, like even the way we've triangulated all the bracketry down to the front of the front bar, like it cops a lot of downforce. It has almost destroyed everything that we've ever done to it. So if we did purchase a splitter regardless, the fab time would probably be almost the same. It's non-serviceable. We have to basically mount the carbon splitter itself to a frame or to support brackets and stuff, and we still have to mount it to the car. So at the moment, the actual mount is integrated is actually the frame of the splitter, and then we've put a composite skin on top and on the bottom, and like we purchased some composite sheeting, and it was like in between the weight per thickness and volume between wet carbon. It's lighter than wet carbon and heavier than dry carbon, but within the budget too. So it's not $1 million splitter. I wouldn't stand 5 people on it last time because the splitter material itself would fail. It would collapse with over that 150mm stick out. The frame protrudes right to the big, leading edge of the splitter now. So we could probably stand 5. We've done 2 people and jumped on it in the correct spot, but I'm sure we could stand 5 people across it while it's on the ground. We can't do it on the hoist because we'll probably pull the car off the hoist. So we could have changed the rear wing last year, but we just did not have enough time. Like we picked a list of things, like we picked the majority of the list and tried to get what we could that was priority done. So we didn't do the wing. So this year we did do the wing. We actually lifted it up. So we've lifted it up. It's still 10mm shy of the rule and still 10mm shy of the rear rule height-wise and roof right and factory bodywork stick out. So we're still within the rule. We have always run this car with no door trims on it. They're glass doors. We've run them no door trims. Last year at Screwed and Earing, they said, "Where are your door trims?" And we're like, "What door trims?" And he's like, "It must have door trims, it's in the rule book." And I'm like, I've never read that. And he's like, "Trust me, it's in there this year." I said, "All right, fine then." So we went back to the garage and there was some Motive Luca board signs on the wall. So then we cut them up and screwed them to the doors and then took the car back for the scrutineer to sign off. So, and yeah, they've been like that all year. We only changed them today. So it's been 360-ish days of that Luca board. It is really important to have a bunch of people that you trust working on a car. Number one, trust, but everybody is really talented with what they bring to the team. You know, all the people that keep up the maintenance, the tuning, you know, everything to do with the car now. Every person has a particular job and a trade set with that job. So it's not like before where a problem would come up and whoever was there has to solve it. We've actually got other people looking after parts of the car now, which is really, really good. So, and the technology that we put in this time as well allows us to do that, where fault finding or having issues in the past wasn't anyone's fault. It was just time consuming because everything was outdated. We're on the bottom of the list when it comes to the rules. The rules have moved forward so far and we're still 10 years ago on the rules. We have a full factory floor pan in the car. We have factory front rails up to the front. We have factory rail up to the rear of the car. We haven't passed that point yet, engineering-wise, that we cannot return it to a car. It still has its chassis. It's something that you can go and buy, like suspension-wise. Everything's bolt-in. We don't have, you know, we don't have all chrome moly subframes, billet knuckles. We still run the factory wheel bearings. Drive shafts, everything is like a OEM style build. Whatever aftermarket part is available that is the best to our needs has been put on the car. It's not a car that's scratch built from our own stuff. It physically is still a Nissan.
With JET200 now sporting a whole new front end, I decided I wanted to update the look of the car a little bit, maybe just stand out that little bit more. So I went and saw Tommy from Produce Factory to see what we could do about brightening up the look of JET200. Now, before we went and put the wheels onto the car, we needed to finish off the look. Now, the front bumper, we didn't have time to get it professionally painted, so we decided, well, we'd just paint it ourselves, and we didn't have time to get the front end re-wrapped either. So, another job we decided we would tackle on alone. But I hope you agree that when the entire look came together, man, loved it.